All right, we're back very quickly with another Greece for Scotland game. This time we have Greece Scorpion versus Scotland's Lion, Mcvee versus Nakezuma. Alrighty, and looks like they have started the game. Get a little bit of a zoom in here. There we go. So Lion here is playing Crane Splash, and the Scorpion list is playing City Restricted card. Looks like gonna be Phoenix Splash. Yep, same thing that we saw previously. Same deck idea. Keeper Phoenix Splash. Lion is playing Keeper of Air, Crane Splash, 3 copies of Steward of Law, 3 Voice of Honor, 2 Soul Beyond Reproach, along with 2 copies of Prepare for War. So I mean, this could be a good favorable matchup in terms of deck choices. All right, so we see a Coma Prodigy get bought against a Liar. We do have double Keeper Initiate for the Scorpion player, and then we see a Berserker get bought. We have the Liar get bought with 1 Fate to avoid getting Water Ringed, and then we see a Season of War actually get played. I'm not sure if that's correct. Flips into double Shoju though, and a Master Whisper on Toshirambo. That's actually hilarious. I'm probably passing if I'm Lion here. I guess it's not that bad to season there because it lets you season without giving your opponent 2 passing fate. City gets activated. It's interesting that Mcvee bids 3 there to the 5 and buys Brawler 1 Fate. What is the plan here? You can't afford to get voided, and then you also can't go Earth because of display into double keeper. Are we just gonna go like firing here? If we have voice would be the reason, right? If you send multiple people and you can get one of your characters honored, you could voice. Oh, interesting. So Nakezuma plays Hige's sermon, bows the liar and the brawler. So you discarded a card to basically accomplish what the brawler would do, but I guess it forces another character to do the conflict. I don't like this fate expenditure here. This was 4 fate that you spent, and then you gave your opponent passing fate. So this is like a 6 fate buy here. And we see a military air come in here. I'm not displaying this. I'm pretty happy. I mean, I'm not happy, but like displaying this is a losing proposition for sure. So an assassination gets played on the berserker. No fate, so conflict's gonna end. Kind of awkward that you have to use your assassination on the character that has no fate on it. But if you have like a conflict character here and can win a void ring, you're just so golden. Like if you get this brawler off the table, you're super happy. So let's see. The liar does run into upholding authority after it got Tessoned. That is a change, a big change actually. Is this the Scorpion list playing Tesson? I wonder how many copies. Is it just 3? Yep, 3 copies of Elegant Tesson. And we do have 2 copies of Mono no Aware, so we do see some tech choices against the tower style decks that are creeping up. Mostly Dragon. It's really hard for the Phoenix Splash deck to beat Dragon. Alright, we're back. Starting the job search again and getting a lot of phone calls, so apologies. People are finally hiring again, or at least hiring in a manner that makes it easier to apply. So we did see two conflicts get made by the Scorpion player. Um, we had Miyako disguised over a Keeper Initiate to dishonor the Prodigy. Uh, we're pretty even on cards though, and like the Shoju is gonna be kind of awkward for Scorpion here. Scorpion did not win the favor that turn, which is a really important deal here, as you aren't going to be able to count on censure because cities your restricted card. All right, so we see Moto get bought with 2. We have a dupe for Zentaro, and we do flip a Keeper Initiate. We don't see Shoju get bought, and we have bids of 2 to 1. Let's check. Let's do an Icon Swim check. Does Nakezuma have Icon Swim? And we do not have an Icon Swim check or an Icon Swim to worry about here. So Lion, the deck lists are open. Lion should not be afraid here. Nothing to be afraid of. So Moto moves in Miyako after Scorpion runs into Dishonorable Assault. Moto has a TI on him. Goblin Sneak steals one of the 2 remaining Fate from Mcvee. We see Moto get use the activated ability from TI. Takes Ready for Battle. Nakezuma passes because he's winning. Plays another TI. We do have Mcvee winning the conflict, it looks like, with the favorable ground moving Miyako home. We do have a voice in hand for Mcvee, so that's something to note for Nakezuma. And so we're probably going to see Paul Water here. Forces defense, and then also gets to trigger Nakoma. We see Nakoma bows Miyako after it gets blocked by the Liar, and then we'll see the Keeper Initiate rumble on in against Zentaro. Presumably at a different province? It's kind of awkward to go to Dishonorable Assault here. Because you can just get a card discarded to make you Dishonored. You have to block here though, because if your opponent has a conflict character here, you can't afford to lose this. You can't afford to lose this ring if you are Mcvee. Like you just can't afford to take an Earth Ring here. I posted about it. What do you mean? Oh no, I didn't. Right, I just left my thing. Whatever. I don't believe Assault has been used. Gums. Yeah, you're right. You're right, Rash. I just kind of started my stream up again. So we have our Prepare for War get used to honor the Zentaro, and then we're just gonna see the threat of voice, basically end that conflict. I was busy posting Aladdin memes in the New York City chat. That's why I didn't post this to the Discord. That's the actual reason. So, indeed, Jasper. I don't think I could sing that well. So we have Earth Becomes Sky Basmoto. That's a really big deal here. Potentially turning off these two tactical ingenuities. Oh wait, no, we know we have the Ready for Battle. We're just gonna voice one of these, right? Like, so Ready for Battle gets used, which we knew about. I would voice this for sure if I have no way, because I want these two tactical ingenuities to get used, and that's what we see here. You also guarantee a good use of your voice, as opposed to, say, your character losing their honor token. Like, having your Moto standing is a huge deal here. I'm mulliganing both these cards. Scorpion keeping Shoju is kind of awkward. Your opponent's already up on cards, and they're going to continue to be up on cards. We just see the Toturi keep here. Man, Toturi is so awkward against Display of Power. But we see him, and then we see a Toturi dupe like a smart player. We're going to see Shoju get bought, duped, and then Alibi Artist. How much fate are we putting in this Shoju? I guess we can put 1 off of Toshirambo to go to 2, and then dupe to 3. And then 2 fate our Alibi Artist. I think I'm feeling that. So I'm feeling Shoju 1 off Toshirambo, and then I'm feeling Alibi Artist 2, dupe Shoju. You could even Shoju 1 if your opponent dupes. No, because you're going to buy the Alibi Artist, so you're not going to get Passing Fate. We just see a Mono no Ore get fired off now. Is there a point to buy Fawning Arash? Can't you just stand Shoju and win favor that way? Also, I don't think you have the money for all that, especially after this Mono no Ore. That's actually sick use there, right? Like so let's say he didn't fire this mono off, right? He'd have 7. You dupe Shoju, and then you buy Alibi Artist with 2. So Alibi Artist with 2 is 3, putting you down to 4. So you'd have 4 fate left. Chooses to 1 fate the Alibi Artist. I mean, even if you with this conservative fating by Nakezuma, you're still not. You don't have fate for this fawning. I mean, you have to fate this way because you need to threaten Display of Power. You need to threaten Display of Power, and oh man, it's so awkward in terms of. You can't threaten Display of Power, right? There's 2 military stats here. So we have Hige Sermon here. Sermon bows Mozo to prevent Mozo dragging a character in. So this is one way to guarantee a display here. So if I'm Mcvee, I'm going Mill Fire, grabbing my fate and eating a display. Like that's my line here. There's 3 copies of Voice of Honor, Goms. The splash is 3 copies of Steward of Law, 3 copies of Voice of Honor, and 2 copies of Soul Beyond Reproach. And because City of the Open Hand is face up here, we know there are no cancels on Scorpion's side that are live, because there's no censure at the moment. I don't like this. I don't like this at all. You're gonna get display empowered. Like, your opponent just saw 3x or looked at 4 cards. If you're gonna call a bluff on display power, you go air. Like real talk, real talk. If you're gonna call, yeah, sure. If that's the line though, you go air because there's 2 keeper initiates in your discard pile. Like, if that's your call, get some fate here. I don't know, man. I just like money too much. So we see imbued with shadows. For 1, discards the status token. I mean, he didn't go water though. He went void. And Shoju is gonna give you cards. Cards is not the limiting factor here. We see Soul Beyond Reproach on Akoto Toturi, so we do have the Voice of Honor. It looks like, and so we're seeing this. Well, he started on water and then he went void. Well, no, void's not stupid here. So if he does voice this display here, which is what we see, he gets to double void the Shoju, which is pretty sick. Like, now Scorpion is out of fate and their board just got wiped, but like Lion is gonna have this character die with these things. Like, this dying is bigger than this dying in my opinion. But like that was a pretty big deal. Scorpion can recoup a lot of their fate here by getting this fire ring. And then Lion can go Paul Air. I always forget that card exists. That's a good point, Insanity. Let me see how many copies, if any, that Mcvee is playing. Mcvee has exactly 0 copies of Call to War. Yep. All 0 copies are able to be played for sure. Presumably, well, so your opponent has to attack you Paul back, right? And the Vice Proprietor is already dishonored and is worse defense. He does not play even the odds gums. Nope. I mean, the deck lists are public, right? Like, you guys have access to them just as much as I do. So I'll link them here just in case. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. It is easier to ask. I will always agree with the lazier route. So for the lazily inclined, there are no copies of even the odds. This is a pretty straight up, reasonable Lion list. There's no tricks to this deck here. So we see it. Mcvee plays Assassination on Alibi Artist. Okay. Siri, tell me how many assassinations this list has. That's so good. So we see a firing get fired off here to dishonor Toturi. So, as funny as this sounds, that assassination might lose him the game. Like, legit might lose you the game. Like, you're sitting pretty good on your honor, and then you just threw 3 of it away. Like, you did 3 points of things Scorpion's trying to do to you. And it's not like you lowered yourself in a point where they can't box you. There's still 2 displays left in the deck, and there's 2 Fate here. Like, if you get displayed on this airing, you go to 6, you get boxed to 5. If they just like flip another shows you could die. If he doesn't have the display, he has like a high chance of getting it now. Why was this card freed? When when Dragon was getting pummeled, when Restoration of Balance got eroded while Dragon was not doing that well, where was our compensation buff? Why did this card get freed? Like, why did Secret Cache get freed, and why does Butcher exist? 2 questions. Why does Dispatch Nowhere exist? The 3 burning questions I have. Because reasons. 2 shoujus have been seen in Sanity. Oh no, all 3 have been seen. Oh, okay. I didn't realize one had been pitched earlier. I thought only 2 have been pitched. Okay, so then I actually feel a lot safer for the Lion player here. But not that much safer. I mean, this Earth Ring is gonna be pretty miserable. You could dishonorable assault, but that doesn't really help you because the City Open Hand gains him the honor. Well, so I thought I thought he pitched 1 because he had a double, but I think he might have pitched both and flipped 1 in the same spot. Is what I think might have happened. What, 2 keepers coming back and then your sentries are gonna go get turned on? It's tough. Discards a 4 shame to dishonor the Goblin Sneak. See, I don't like things like this. So all this does is it puts your opponent to 2, but then they box you back to 3. Like, did people forget what the City of the Open Hand does? Like, you aren't going to dishonor your opponent. The OG City of the Open Hand is just not it's just not happening. I mean, they didn't even need help, right? Like, if you don't dishonorables out there, you're still at 3. You're 4 to 4, and then you could just take a UO. Well, yes. Oh, baby, just so smart. All right, chat. Can we get some big brains? Can we get some big brains in chat? Let's get some big brains in chat from my. I don't know. I probably don't have any subs in here. If if you're sub to me, let's get some big brains in chat. Yeah, there we go. Thanks, Jasper. Well, we did have a close game, and now we don't. We have Ardent Omodasu here. Oh, you can just take it with channel points. That's insane, actually. I forgot that the channel points let you do that. I mean, Lion has to buy this Omodasu. Oh, you unlock a random one? Well, fortunately, I only have 1 emote, so it's you guys randomly got the 1 emote I have. I think Lion is quite in quite a lot of trouble here. I'm not gonna say they're dead, but they're on life support right now. I'm just not saying anything because there's not much to say. Sorry. I was answering some emails and then didn't look at the conflict that I knew was gonna get lost. Oh, sorry. We saw a Hige Sermon. Okay. Hige Sermon got played and a Goblin Sneak got played. Takes the last fate, bows the Omidasu, and then we see Middle Water at the Dishonorable Assault. Kind of forcing a block because otherwise you get UO. Stands the Vice Proprietor that was bowed by Hige Sermon. I mean, if we have the third display here, we're just actually just like opponent's dead, right? Like they don't get their keepers. Don't get their keepers, don't get to use their stronghold. Then get displayed down to 2, you take UO, like actually dead. Hits Shameful Display. Close to is dead. Nakezuma wins the conflict, gets their Lyre bowed, but then we're just gonna see both these Keeper Initiates rumble on in. You could go. Wait, did you just not use Shameful? I guess he. Wait, why didn't you use Shameful? Because then Void Ring is worth an honor here. Why can't he? Oh my Dasu. I forgot this card has text. Alright, we're just going Earth, easy Earth. Hits Manicure Garden, pretty good hit here. Oh, there's a Seeker of Knowledge. Yep, this is gonna be game. We're gonna see Resolve Air Ring, and then we're going to see Court Games Adorai. I mean, you didn't need to send both, but it also doesn't matter. Yep, there's the backhanded compliment, and that's the game. So it was definitely a close game that was kind of marred by really amazing card design, such as Dispatch to Nowhere. But overall, it was a good game for sure. I mean, these games, like the thing is, these games where City Open Hand is your restricted card, definitely feel a lot more reasonable than the games where Scorpion had City as their city, like old City. Sorry, I guess it was Eroded City plus Edict, right? Like that. Those games all felt real dumb. At least this one, like your opponent has they're playing face up basically, like the restricted card. So while I don't think this should have been freed, etc., or like they shouldn't have this, is a different story. I think that restricting City was definitely a good choice. So well, we'll see statistically how Scorpion fares as the tournament progresses. Thanks everyone for watching. Continue coverage later on.